okay, I said this once before. At the workplace, the corporate office, your corporate bosses, just say you have some black people that come to apply for a job. You have a dark-skinned man, two dark-skinned women, and a light-skinned man and 4 light-skinned women, or biracial, exoticos, whatever you want to call them. So, and the common denominator is they gonna actually white people. What they gonna do? They gonna pick the lighter-skinned black people. Now, even though the darker-skinned black people have way more qualifications than the light-skinned people, you would think that he would pick the people that's more qualified. No. The reason why he's not going to pick the black people that are way more qualified is because they will have to compete with the white people at the office that's not qualified for the jobs that got hired for nepotism. This is how you destroy a lot of these DEI high bullshit talking points. You know, when normally how white society is, they gonna pick the lighter skinned version people because they look more softer. They look more, they don't look as aggressive as a darker skinned person. Now people like, what you mean look aggressive? To white people, the darker you are, the more aggressive you look. So the lighter you are, the less aggressive you look. You understand that this plays into, they want people who basically they feel that they can be able to push around. And for some reason or the other, white people tend to feel that they can push around a lighter skinned black person, no matter if it's a man or a woman. And for instance, I'm gonna show you a prime example of this. My cousin, who's a light-skinned dude, him and his girlfriend got into a disagreement. So the girlfriend, they got into a disagreement out. They went to a the little golf where you go play little golf. They went to do some shit. So the white dudes seen this going on, and they start basically trying to get into their business instead of them minding their own business. It don't have nothing to do with them in it. These white dudes want to be Captain Save-A-Hole. Now they just having an argument. They just having a little disagreement. White boys want to come in, so they thought by him being light skinned, they start thinking that they can fight him and fuck with him, and then at the same time flirting with his girl. But he had a black girl. She was light skinned too. So they thought that they was gonna try to walk up on him because he was a light skinned black dude. Well, he had some. He popped the trunk on him. He popped the trunk. They backed the fuck off. The white boys called the cops. They was gonna arrest him, but he got out because he had his weapons in the state of Missouri, long-shore weapons, and now due to it being a conservative state, you can now have the right to carry as long as you have a license. But yeah, they walked up on him like they was gonna do something to him, so he popped the trunk on their ass. Thank God for the Second Amendment. That's one thing I love about this country, man. Damn right, we can brandish, we can buy firearms and walk around with it like shit. I carry all the time on me when I'm at home, but just in case some shit like that pop off. So, like I said, white people see lighter skinned or biracial people as less threatening. Where you got a big ass dark skin, Wesley Snipes, what's homeboy name? Wesley Snipes. Damn it, I can't think of dude. Idris Elba ass. Mike? What the dude? Mike? What's his name? Michael Dwight Johnson. You see them big ass dark skinned niggas. Ain't no white boy gonna be too hard up to try to approach them because they feel like, oh, this nigga dark, this nigga big, he got muscles. He'll whoop my ass. I seen a white guy who was a black belt, which I still thought he was cap, but I seen him, he was a black belt, and he get his ass whooped by a regular nigga. Damn, I said I was gonna use N-words to try to use profanity, but hell, it just comes out. But yeah, they do think that's why they hire a lot of light skin. When it comes to colorism, they do use colorism to hire. They will pick lighter skinned people. So darker skinned people are always picked last, due to colorism and racism. It's both. So when people always ask why they didn't hire me for a job and I had way more qualifications, but they hired their light-skinned person. Or check this shit out. They just let a Latino person applying for the job, and you may have as a light-skinned black person, you may have way more qualifications than Hispanic person. They gonna pick the Hispanic person over you. So this how this shit works in America. It's not what they call a meritocracy. It's never been America, never been a meritocracy. Never been. It's still a racist ass country. Normally what they do all kind of shit. Like if you're a non-FBA black person, they play you against FBA. They use you, they weaponize non-FBA diaspora black people against black Americans. Well, if it's a job, you got an Indian coming in, you a Nigerian or a Jamaican, they're gonna hire the Indian or the Arab dude over you. Or the Chinese, don't let it be a Chinese or Korean. Oh my God, you might, I don't give a fuck, you an immigrant, a black immigrant, nigga, you might as well hang it up. Cause they gonna hire them people before you, cause in the white supremacist mind, they think, that black people in general intelligently are inferior. And you could be a black immigrant from the Caribbean. From the Caribbean, you could be from Africa, and you got a high IQ, but in their mind, they'll use you, weaponize you against black Americans, but in their mind, in the white supremacist mind, they say, hey, these niggas, ain't none of these niggas intelligent, they not too damn bright. And you might be brighter than them. If you do have an inkling of intelligence, they'll downplay that. White people downplay your intelligence like they always do with black people. They downplay our intelligence like a motherfucker. And that's global. They downplay the region. They downplay even black people in the diaspora and say, well, you have average white people say, look, see, them African people and people in the Caribbean, they can't even manage their own, they can't even maintain their own countries and manage their countries. And then I had to shed light on that shit. I said, well, yeah, if y'all stop effing around in their countries, putting their little dictators in and basically stealing all their natural resources, maybe they can get on their feet. But obviously you white folks in the good old USA, the EU, y'all put in dictators and shit in these countries so that y'all can abstract wealth from those countries. And then try to act like all those people to them, they can't think straight. We gotta go up there and show them how to do everything. They don't even know how to run their own countries. So I tell a lot of immigrants that when they come over here, because they say, well, we live in an homogenous society where everybody black, so they don't see white supremacy like we do. It's not out in the open. It's more covert in those countries. It's more covert, undercover white supremacy. You did. It's like down in Angola. You have a black country, but you got black people. When they go to Portuguese, they told them they don't want them in Portugal. But white people in those countries can build their own exclusive towns and shit in those countries to tell the African people they don't want them in their country unless they doing maid work, they maids and shit like that. How the fuck you gonna set up shop in somebody else's shit and tell them they can't come into your shit when they go over your country? They told to go back to their country, but yet y'all white folks always can find yourselves in other people's countries and build y'all own enclaves and tell them they don't want you in their little enclave in their country, and then when they go your country, you tell them to go back. Ain't that a bitch? That's when them people should burn y'all ass out. That's why I got proud of the Mexicans. One thing I did get proud of the Mexicans, because they were telling all the white people, the gringos, go back to America, gringo. They told them they were forcing all the gringos out. Did they tell all the black Americans to go back to Mexico? Nope. Told only the gringos. The gringos told them, oh, you go back to the States, you get out of our country. Up there benefiting. This is what white people do. They'll tell other groups of people, they'll tell other groups of people to get out of my country, but they over there motherfucker enjoying their country, enjoying the benefits of their country. It's like, the funny thing is, you'll have white supremacists that talk about they want all the Mexicans to leave their country, but yet they'll go all eat at a Mexican restaurant. You can't make this shit up. They'll tell we need all the Mexicans to go back to where they come from. Why eat these burritos and tacos? And I do love Mexican food. I ain't gonna leave a lie. Why eat this Mexican food? I want these Mexicans to go. Well, y'all ain't gonna have nobody cooking no Mexican food. Well, we could go to Taco Bell is really not. It's watered down Mexican food. It ain't really. It's just like white people take certain foods that black people cook. Like, you got white people that cook collard greens and shit. You got white people that cook collard greens, and they all they cook. And we keep in mind what collard greens are. Soul food, technically, what soul food is food that survival food. Where black people, that's all they had to survive. So they used whatever they could. Like, for instance, like oxtails. And like, oxtails is big in the black community, whether you be in the Caribbean or in the South. Oxtails is real good. I'll tell you another thing people be sleeping on. Turkey butts and turkey tails. Turkey tails fire. You throw them in some motherfucking butter beans, some navy beans, man, and some cornbread. Woo! Let me shut up. Talking about food, man, making me hungry. But man, look here. White people will take our food, all the scraps that they do to us in slavery, because I don't know why a lot of Jamaicans and other Caribbeans think somehow that they different from black Americans. I said the only thing is, you all got quasi-control over y'all islands. Other than that, really, y'all don't really have control. They gave y'all autonomy, y'all own autonomy. Where here in America, we tried to create our own enclaves, our own little black thriving black communities, just to let a lot of you immigrants know we did try to have our own shit. But white folks, due to their being jealous of us, our success, they burnt them motherfuckers down, and they found other ways. They can't do shit like that no more. Like, burn down our thriving communities like Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, or the Greenwood District, Elan, Arkansas, Slocum, Texas, Wilmington, North Carolina, Rosewood, Florida, Oliverville, Georgia, which is now Lake Lanier. They drowned the whole town to cover up all the shit. Ran the Highway 55 Act, where they ran highways through black thriving communities. And then on top of that, the government stopped giving loans and grants to black people, redlining them from the banks. So that just to let all you immigrants know, you other immigrants from the diaspora, they have did all they could to keep black Americans from having our own autonomy. It ain't that black people haven't tried, it's just that they throw stumbling blocks in our way. They always have done that. So what they do, they can't do shit like that no more. So now they got to make it look as though black people or black Americans ain't trying. So what they do, they bring a lot of y'all immigrants in. And then immigrants that really don't have no ties here to the shit that's going on, they use them and weaponize them against us and say, see, just because the black Americans, they don't do this, they don't do that, they lazy, blah, 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 blah. And some Africans and diaspora people in the Caribbean side out of that shit. But some go right along with it, be cooning and tap dancing and shit. You know, tap dancing for white folks. But I ain't saying all immigrants from the Caribbean and from Africa be thinking like that. A lot of them side out of shit, or some just generally don't know. Especially now in the Caribbean now. Come on now, you should know. Because y'all Caribbean people came from the same process that the FBAs did. Y'all was brought over to the Caribbean. Same way. Matter of fact, some of y'all might even be cousins and fellow tribesmen, because they were dropping niggas off everywhere. They were dropping niggas off in Brazil, dropping niggas off in Jamaica, St. Thomas, St. Kitts, the American Virgin Islands, the British Virgin Islands, dropping niggas off in Central and South America. Mexico was the second largest black population. Then the last stop was the United States. Then the ship make its way back to Africa again. Like a goddamn Greyhound bus and shit. And then normally what those ships do when they drop slaves off, then those ships turn into cargo ships where they getting the goods and shit from slavery. They collecting all the goods, cotton, sugar cane, all kind of shit that's, that was used by slave labor. Those ships, after they drop the slaves off, those ships go back with a backhaul. They go back with a like when I drop off a load in this truck. Okay, I drop off a load in this truck. After I drop off a load, I gotta look for a backhaul. You look for a backhaul, another load to get you to deliver. So you loading up, unloading. Might have 2 or 3 stops. And see, that's what the slave ship was doing, no more than what I do in this truck. It'd go to Africa, pick up some slaves, drop slaves off like goddamn Greyhound, like Greyhound and shit, and then pick up shit from every place and pick up slaves, drop off slaves. The ship pick up goods and take it back. But anyway, back to the colorism thing. They always, that was one of the biggest tricks. That you can even see it in the Caribbean, and definitely you can see it in Haiti, where most of your leadership in Haiti are descendants of light-skinned or biracial people. And like I said, colorism plays a big part in black culture, because especially here in the Western Hemisphere, because due to Europeans and European white men laying up with black women. That's why you got niggas that's why you got the ninjas in all kind of shades of colors, different kind of hair textures, But I just thought I'd bring that up, just some conversation. Over and out.